In a quiet town on the western coast of Ireland, a man arrived alone, carrying with him a suitcase, a story, and a mystery that would baffle investigators, journalists, and internet sleuths for over a decade. He called himself Peter Bergmann, but that name was a lie. His identity, a complete mystery. His purpose, unknown. And his death, one of the strangest, most unexplained cases in modern history. This is not just a story of a man who vanished. It's a story of a man who planned his own disappearance so meticulously, he almost succeeded in erasing every trace of who he really was. Almost. A man with no past. It all began on June 12, 2009, in Sligo, Ireland. A middle-aged man with silver hair and a thin build checked into the Sligo City Hotel under the name Peter Bergmann. He spoke with a slight German accent and appeared polite, well-dressed and unassuming. At the hotel reception, he filled out a guest card and listed his address as Einstettersinn 15, Vienna, Austria. But that address doesn't exist. Not in Vienna, not anywhere. He said he was visiting for a few days to relax and enjoy the coast. Nothing about him seemed off at first, until authorities later discovered that every detail he provided was fabricated. The strange behavior begins. Over the next 3 days, Bergmann was seen repeatedly leaving the hotel carrying a purple plastic bag, only to return later without it. CCTV footage shows him walking to different areas of town, always alone, always avoiding security cameras as best he could. He seemed to be methodically discarding something, bit by bit. But what was he getting rid of? Clothes, personal documents, evidence of his true identity? Despite extensive efforts, not a single item from those bags was ever recovered. It's as if he erased his life piece by piece, his last known movements. On Sunday, June 14th, Bergmann took a taxi to Rosses Point Beach, just a few miles outside Sligo. The driver noted that he was carrying only a small black bag, and when asked about the area, Bergmann responded, "I've never been here before." He walked along the shore for a while and sat alone on a bench, seemingly deep in thought. He then returned to his hotel, ordered a simple meal, toast and coffee, and went to bed. Nothing unusual. But the next morning on June 15th, everything changed. A body on the beach at around 6:45 a.m. The body of Peter Bergmann was discovered by a local man walking his dog along Rosses Point Beach. He was fully clothed, dressed neatly in a purple striped swimsuit under black clothing. His body was soaking wet, but strangely, there were no signs of drowning, no water in his lungs, and no signs of injury or struggle. Even more bizarre, every label had been meticulously cut out from his clothes. His pockets were empty. His wallet, passport, or any form of ID? Gone. A post-mortem examination revealed advanced prostate cancer, along with bone cancer and heart issues. The man was dying, but he didn't carry any medication, nor was he receiving treatment. It seemed that Peter Bergmann had come to Sligo to disappear, to die anonymously. Who was Peter Bergmann? Interpol, Europol, and police across Europe launched an investigation. Facial recognition, fingerprint analysis, missing persons databases, all turned up nothing. He had no dental records, no criminal background, no medical files. It was as if Peter Bergmann had never existed. And that might be the most chilling part. The man didn't just disappear. He erased himself while still alive. He planned every detail, from his arrival, to how he moved, to avoiding cameras, to disposing of his belongings. The use of a fake name, a fake address, no digital footprint. It was calculated, intentional, and to this day, no one has come forward claiming to know him. No family, no friends, nothing. Theories, suicide, spy, or something else. There are many theories about Peter Bergmann, but few answers. Was he a terminally ill man, simply seeking a quiet place to die alone, without burdening anyone? Or was he hiding from something darker? Some suggest he was a spy or an intelligence agent, familiar with surveillance, trained to disappear. The precision with which he removed all identifying marks points to someone with experience in evasion. Others believe he may have been involved in criminal activity, fleeing from powerful enemies and choosing to end his life on his own terms. But perhaps the most tragic theory is also the simplest. He was a man who had lost everything, his family, his identity, his will to live, and chose to slip away unnoticed. The unsolvable mystery. The case remains open, but no new leads have emerged since 2009. Despite media coverage, documentaries, and even Reddit forums filled with amateur sleuths, no one has been able to uncover the man's real identity. Peter Bergmann's story is now part of a strange collection of unsolved modern mysteries, cases that hint at deeper truths about loneliness, mortality, and the human desire to vanish. What drives a person to erase themselves completely? Was it shame, fear, or a desperate need for control in his final moments? A legacy of questions. Peter Bergmann left behind no fingerprints, no paper trail, and no history. All he left was a story, a puzzle, and a beach where a man chose to die on his own terms. His case has inspired novels, films, and investigative reports. But at its core, it is a deeply human story, one that reflects our fear of being forgotten and our fascination with those who vanish without a trace. If Peter Bergmann wanted to be remembered as a mystery, he succeeded. The hook that still pulls us. So why does this case haunt so many people? Maybe it's because Peter Bergmann represents the ultimate question of identity. Who are we without our names, our possessions, or our connections? And in a world where every move is tracked, where every identity is recorded, how did he disappear so completely? Would you recognize a man trying to vanish if you passed him on the street? Or could you be speaking to someone right now who's living under a name that's not their own? Final thought, could the mystery still be solved? Could someone watching this video hold a clue? A memory of a similar man, a neighbor who vanished, a father, an uncle? Could the truth still be out there, buried in old documents, a photograph, or a forgotten name? We may never know who Peter Bergmann really was, but we do know this. He planned his disappearance carefully, and in doing so, he created one of the most haunting modern mysteries the world has ever seen. What would you do if you only had weeks to live? Would you tell someone or disappear completely? Let us know in the comments.